Hey guys, I'm just going to go through what you need for your HRM. That should say 506. Wow, I really stuffed up, didn't I? Okay, that's the unit code, HRM506. We're doing a project here, and there were a few different parts. So I know that it got a little bit confusing with all the documents. So that's what I'm going to go through now. So the first part to do was 1A. And that's the report template. And in the report, you're sending it to your general manager and telling them what you need to fix up in the HR policy and procedures manual. So we should have gone through that as a class, highlighting the errors. So then you just go back into the HR manual and see what the errors were. You can paste in the logo from the manual there and then just put your name here. And then in the introduction, you're explaining to your general manager exactly why, like what needs to be changed in the manual. So you can just say, I've reviewed the HR manual, I've found these problems, and I believe X, Y, and Z need to be fixed. And X, Y, and Z, I'm meaning their recruitment and selection policies and procedures because they weren't there. Or maybe the policy was there, but it wasn't very detailed. Then you just need to list out some of the legislative and business and ethics frameworks that apply. So there's two places you can get this from. You could go into your ebook. Just wait for that to load. It's time. And there's some legal considerations in 1.1.4 that you could talk about, and they're like the main ones: workplace health and safety, anti-discrimination, and I think it was the Fair Work Act as well. So you could just talk about those three and that would be sufficient. Or you can go right down to the bottom, and this is where it has all of the different legislations that could apply. So you could just list a few and then just briefly summarize in dot points. That would be fine. Okay, so that's those two sections done. Then we go down and we're looking at the recruitment and induction. If you still have training and development here, you can delete that. That's not necessary. So what is covered so far and what needs to be addressed? So just have a look and see if recruitment and selection policies and procedures are in the manual, and same goes for the induction. And then you just write here, I'm pretty sure both procedures are missing. And then I think there's an induction policy, but it's pretty brief. So just write that under these sections here. And then it says rewrite the procedures section showing more detail. Well, I actually want you to rewrite the policy and procedures section. So that's where these templates come in. So I've got a recruitment and selection policy template here. So open that up, and there's only a few things you need to change. So we need to put in version control. Since there hasn't been an adequate policy before, I would call this version 1.0. And then the date effective is when you want your organization to start using the policy. So, I mean, usually doing like a nice round, like 1st of the month is good. So the next coming month is the 1st of October. So you could put that in there. Approved by, it'll be approved by the CEO. And in this case, Dynamic Events CEO is Lucy Smith. And then the change history, because we haven't changed anything, because it's the first document that we've done up, we just say NA. But then if we found something wrong with this, then we could put that in there and then say, I don't know, fixed up spelling error, or, you know, whatever is being changed, or, you know, add in extra document to refer to, you know, that's what you put in the change history. So anyway, we don't need that line. Now we need to insert our business name here. So if you highlight that, including the brackets, like this, and then go Control F, which is Control Find, move this across, it brings up where it says insert business name. And then if you go to this drop down arrow and go to replace, you can actually replace all of them with dynamic events to save you from going back through over and over again. Replace all, and it's made 7 changes for you. Yes. Okay. So that is done. So let's keep looking through to see if there's anything else we need to do. Okay, so there's some definitions that are missing here. So recruitment, selection, and diversity. So then we just need to go to Google. You know, the most common Googled thing is Google. Can you believe it? So we need to define recruitment. I think it was just recruitment, wasn't it? Yep. So make sure you're not picking one that's about the armed forces. That's the first one that comes up. We need to go down maybe to this one, Business Dictionary. That sounds good. Process of finding and hiring the best qualified candidate from within or outside the organisation for a job opening in a timely and cost-effective manner. That includes analysing the job requirements, attracting employees, screening and selecting applicants, hiring and integrating the new employee into the organisation. Excellent. That's a really good definition. So we can copy that in. And then you just need to do the same for selection and diversity. I don't think it wants me to copy it, but you get the idea. Okay, make sure with diversity you're doing it for recruitment. So same with selection in recruitment, diversity, you could say diversity in the workplace. And that will come up with a much better description. I think some people have just said, like state of being diverse, and that's really not helping at all. Creating an inclusive environment that sets each individual's differences, embraces their strengths, blah, blah, blah. So that should be, okay, now that that is done, if we scroll down, ooh, this one didn't get caught in my search because it was attached to a URL. So this is for the website name. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be anything fancy. Sorry, what is it? Diversity events. Wow. Dynamic events.com.au. Everything else looks good. Yeah. Okay, the last thing to do then on this one is just to change the document owner to your name, and then it's just the date that you changed it. So it can be today's date, that's absolutely fine. And that's just so that people know if they find any errors or they have a question, they know to come and see you. So once you've done that, you can either hit save and then attach this document separately to me when you send it, or you can just copy it into the report. So you need to do the same thing with the recruitment and selection procedure, the induction procedure, and the induction policy. So very similar to what we just did, and I think some of the definitions are the same, so you can just copy them over. And then the last thing to do is to go into your HR manual and just make sure you have made all of the changes that you need to. Very zoomed in. That's the logo you can put into the top of the report. So the main ones, like at the top here in the welcome, says our business is primarily about blah, 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 blah. So you can look up a catering company online and find what they're all about, or any other businesses. Usually they'll have like a vision or a mission statement that are quite generic. And the values that Dynamic places on, people, teamwork, etc., etc. So you just need to find something online that says something about that. That's all good. At Dynamic Events, we service many businesses. We are proud to list the following clients. So this is actually where you need to put specific businesses and specific individuals in the community. So this could be like schools, it could be other like professional businesses out there. Maybe you cater for like the mayor, maybe you can just say that you cater for weddings and stuff as well. And then just make sure that as you go through, you're changing all of the things that are highlighted that we went through. And then you can either save and attach that separately, or you can paste it in at the bottom of the report. Now, return on investment. Calculate the ROI of providing a human resources services, including the benefits of providing such services to staff. So I don't expect you to do that. I would expect you to say, what benefit changing the HR manual has and having these policies and procedures in place. So it would be all about like streamlining the recruitment process so that dynamic events can get the best employees possible, and they also have the best training as well. Then from here down, you can delete this section. It's just not relevant. So then underneath the return on investment should be where you paste your HR manual, or you just attach a separate document. And that is 1A completed.